Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. This is a special Halloween edition of Hong Kong House of Cards. Tonight we see Arthur and his friends and fellow mages meeting for a High Sullen ritual. The ritual will be taking place in a secluded park. Upon arriving, visitors would find a table set up with refreshments. There will be moon bread, mead, what else? Wine, uh, different types of alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages, including hard and regular cider, as well as bottled water. Um, the glade in which they are meeting has a altar set in the middle. There is lengths of rope creating a circle around the center. The altar is decorated with a pentacle, two chalices, a white and a black candle, and there are numerous Wiccan implements upon it. Set up on a table on the other side is a listing of different pictures in black borders. These pictures look like they date back to the 1600s. Anybody who's familiar with pictures of mourning, the black borders means that the people in the pictures are deceased. Arthur will be standing nearby. He will be wearing mossy green robes with silver runes written into the etched into the hem, and silver stars and suns decorated in different parts of the robe. Unlike other knights, Arthur looks sober. Arthur is not smelling at all of pot or alcohol, and looks to be rather somber. The moon is clear above, and go ahead and intro.
I guess I'll go first.
Oh, real quick, James, I said that Arthur would have asked anybody to wear implements denoting their particular paradigm, so you can have Charlie dressed as he would for any type of mood or ritual.
Alright.
Alright, so Charles K., go first.
I'll come to the bar dressed in a white lab coat, and in my pockets will be different gadgets of sorts, different pieces of and just miscellaneous items, and I'll be wearing a Google Glass. But I will have the makeup on of Dr. Frankenfurter, and I'll have black hair instead of white, and I will just come up to the park and be like, look around.
Arthur will approach you and give you a hug, and he will say, "Blessed be," and then he will let you go. All right, James, you're next. James?
Oh.
Unless you want Chris to
My turn? Charlie will be coming in traditional Guru ritualist robes, symbols denoting of
what?
Auspice, of a theurge. Basically, he's in Guru ritualist robes, symbols that mean he's the show of his auspice, which is the theurge moon. Emerald green robes, and he is has his hood up, like and he will be fully quiet, and everyone will probably need to roll perception alertness because his specialty index is preternatural grace, so he's not going to be heard while he's walking up, and because he's also barefooted.
All right, Arthur will roll perception, of course. And 2 successes. So,
Yeah, and for Connor rolled as well, 2 successes. So,
Alright.
and one of them's a 10.
Okay.
so Arthur will see Charlie.
I'm just gonna say, y'all see him before y'all see him, but y'all won't hear him
Alright.
as he's walking up. He's,
Nick, you are
his
totally.
rage presence is very minimal.
Okay. So Arthur will walk up to Charlie. He will hug him. He will say "Blessed be," and then let him go. All right, Chris, you're next.
You'll hug him back. Say close to be.
Connor will, well, Connor Jackson, depending on what you know him by.
I think I know him as Jackson. So.
Yeah, most people know him as Jackson. Will walk up wearing a suit and tie, and it looks like it's probably the most expensive thing he owns as far as clothing goes. And as he walks up, there is the feeling of otherworldly power and shimmering images in the sides of everyone's peripherals.
Okay.
And he is carrying with him what appears to be something wrapped up in a piece of cloth.
Okay.
Most, like, looking at it, it's probably like a loaf of bread.
Okay. All right. Forgot to mention one thing about Arthur's dress. He's wearing his amulet outside, so it's on his chest. For those of you who can sense it, high-level spirit energy, and it radiates luminous power. So, Arthur will approach Jackson, will embrace him, and he'll say, "Blessed be," and then he'll let him go. My friends, thank you for coming. Please help yourself to anything on the table before we start. It is always best to do ritual on a full stomach.
Is there a fire going?
Right now, there's torchlight set up around the glade, not inside the circle itself, but around the glade. It looks like there's a place where there's stacked wood. You get the idea that Arthur's planning on starting a balefire at some point.
Well, Jackson will actually take the wrapped loaf of bread, and he will actually walk over to where the stacks of wood are, and will set the loaf of bread still wrapped up inside the cloth on the ground right beside the fire, or where the fire would be.
Okay. Arthur will ask if it needs to be moved before he starts the balefire.
No, it's for great-grandfather.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your offering. Thank you.
So after Connor gets done with that, I'll walk over to Chris's character and start talking to him. Hey, do I know you from somewhere? I really think I've seen you before. Not quite place it though. If I haven't, I am Nick.
I'm aware I have met you, but you have not met me.
Just got a weird case of deja vu seeing you, so. I'll tell you.
Well, we met at Riker's Bar for the police raid that I decided not to go to.
I don't really see you there. That's kind of weird.
Arthur just kind of smiles because he's dealt with time mages before.
Well, you see, I went and then decided it was a bad idea to go. So I didn't go.
Arthur will just say wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
Arthur will pull out a box of matches. He'll light it, and then he'll light the balefire. He will then pull out from his robes sachets, and he'll hand one to Chris. Chris's character Jackson will hand one to Charles's character Nick. He'll hand one to James' character Charlie. When I motion to you, please take the contents of the pouch and toss it upon the balefire.
All right.
You'll notice that the balefire is actually set up close enough to where anything thrown can reach it from the circle. Arthur then holds the last sachet in his hands and he sets it on the altar. Have you guys? He notices there's nobody that's taken any of the refreshments. Are you guys? Do you want anything before we go?
I'll go to the table and eat a few things.
All the alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages seem to be of high quality. It looks like everything on that table is the best it can be, like Arthur spared no expense for it. Which, given the fact that Arthur has resources too, is saying something.
Well, I grab a glass and kind of pull out a permanent marker and write my name on it and come back over, take a drink and come back over to the circle. Leaving the glass.
Anybody else?
Charlie will get anything right now.
So, Arthur will draw a dagger from his belt. It is a double-bladed, flat-blade dagger with a black hilt. You guys want to roll perception occult or intelligence occult to find out what it is?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. What about intelligence esoterica?
Esoterica will work on that too.
Yeah.
All I know is it's just a double-bladed dagger.
Dude, I swear your dice gen hates you tonight.
Yeah, that's the second botch I got.
Yeah.
And 3 successes, because I'm not going to count the
Right.
10s as being anything, even though intelligence spec of creative. So.
Yeah. You recognize it to be anathema, which is a Wiccan tool that cuts the ethereal.
Considering his form of magic that he practices is a off branch of Wicca, yeah, it's a
you
tool.
recognize that. Not only that, it's a high quality athame too. You would swear that that blade was made of Damascus steel. So Arthur will make a motion like he's cutting the air, and then he will step into the circle, and then he will motion people through the same area that he just cut.
Well, if nobody steps forward, I'll follow through.
Jackson will follow through to the area.
James, I'm assuming Charlie does as well? And he's gone. Again. You must be having some shit luck tonight.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. There he goes. You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm alright.
All right.
Decided to reload spontaneously for some reason.
Okay. Do you step through the area that Arthur designated?
Say it again.
The area that Arthur cut with the knife, do you step through there as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Once everybody's through, Arthur will put the athame away and he'll pull out what looks like a wand. And he will basically use it to redraw the circle. You'll notice that at the cardinal points of the circle, just inside the white rope, there is a different colored candle. There is one that is red, one that is yellow, one that is blue, red, yellow, blue, and green. Since Charlie would have the green sachet, Arthur points him to the green area. Nick would have the red sachet, so he directs him to the candle. Jackson would have the blue sachet, so he'd direct him to the blue candle. And then Arthur would have the yellow sachet and would stand at the yellow candle. Well, actually, right now he stands at the altar. All right. Before we begin, I'd just like to thank all of you for coming to the ritual tonight. This means a lot to me. I was hoping I'd have people here, but things happen, you know. When I look to you as I say the words, light the candle, then at another point you will be tossing the sachet onto the balefire. I hope everybody has fun and is moved by this as I am. Arthur will then close his eyes and let's see. Intelligence, high ritual. 5. Not a bad roll at all. 3 successes.
3 successes.
Yep. Arthur will hold up his hands with the athame in one hand and the wand in the other. And say, "In this time and in this hour I call upon the ancient power, Lord and Lady shining bright in brightest day and darkest night." He'll then look to the red candle and he will say, "I call upon the power of fire, that which creates and destroys, that which heats and that which heals. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And then he'll motion to Nick to light the candle.
And I do it with a. I guess you gave me a match, or
Yeah, you all would have a match to
Yeah.
light the candle with. All right. And then he will look to Charles and he'll say, "I call upon the power of earth, the mother, that which binds us all, that which heals us and that which protects us. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And he'll motion to Charles to light the candle.
You light the candle.
Right. Then he'll turn to Chris and he'll say, "I call upon the power of water, that which sustains us, that which heals us, that which is the force that frees us. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And he will motion to Chris, motion to Jackson.
And he will light the candle.
Right. Then Arthur will go to the yellow candle. "I call upon the power of air, that which lets us breathe, that which lets us fly, that which heals us and binds us. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And he'll light the yellow candle. Arthur will then go back to stand in front of the circle. "I call upon Mother Luna, the moon, that which is the protector of all of us. I invite thee, I invoke thee." And 1, 2, 3. 2 successes. So, yay, Luna heard. And then he says, "I call upon Mother Undine, the healer, the pacifist, the one who sees all as equal and seeks to protect all. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And 1 success. Luna hears. Undine hears. And then he'll bow his head. "I call upon Father, who is the one who sees all, the protector, the guardian, the flame of eternal life, the Lord of the sacred flame. I invoke thee, I invoke thee." And a Father Spirit out there hears. So Arthur will then turn to you 3 and say, "By our wills, by our might, our circle is cast." He will then take the yellow sachet and toss it into the fire. When the sachet hits the fire, the flame turns bright yellow. He'll then motion to Nick.
I'll go ahead and toss mine.
Once your sachet hits the flame, it turns brilliant red. He'll then motion to Charles.
He'll throw his into the fire.
Once it hits the fire, the color changes from red to brilliant verdant green. And then he'll motion to Jackson.
Who will promptly throw his into the fire.
And once that hits the fire, it changes from green to the most cerulean blue you've ever seen in your life. Anybody need to roll a check to see how the flames are turning that color?
That would be a science check if I'm correct, right?
It would be a science check or an esoteric check.
Or an enigma check.
A what?
An enigmas?
Yeah, I guess it would. You could justify enigmas or primal alert for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 successes.
Okay.
I think I'm. Yeah.
You are. Wow, the one roll you didn't botch tonight.
Yay!
You're a son of ether. That better not have botched.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know how it's not out of
Fuck.
What's up, James?
Apparently, it's my turn tonight.
Oh God, yeah. But at least you don't fail. So, Jackson and Nick, who are probably the only people here that should actually recognize that anyway, understand that within the sachets were saltpeter and sulfur and a mixture of different elements. Each element, when hit by fire, changes the fire into a specific color. And this actually works. I've actually made this flash powder before.
So have I.
Yeah,
So have I.
all right.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. I miss doing that sort of thing. Anyway, so Arthur will turn to Nick first. Is there anyone that you wish to speak tonight, as this is the night for speaking to the dead?
Well, I don't know if they're dead or not, but if I had to, it would more than likely be my parents who were taken away from me at a very young age. And I don't know where they went. So, if anybody, it would be them.
If you speak to the ether, and perhaps your words will carry.
I'll look at the fire for a moment and be like, Mom, Dad, if you're out there, if you can hear this, just know that I've tried everything that I can to get back to you, and that I've done everything in my power to avenge you and make things right. I hope I have lived up to your expectations.
Arthur will nod to him and place a hand on his shoulder and say, "So mote it be." And then he'll look to Charlie. Is there anyone you wish to speak to tonight?
My family?
Please speak to the ether.
Mom, Dad, step-parents, and little brother. Sorry, I'm sorry that I didn't get back to Waco in time. I miss y'all and love y'all.
Arthur will place his hand on his shoulder and say, "So mote it be." And then he'll look to Jackson. Jackson, is there anyone you wish to speak to tonight?
The only person I wish to speak tonight is Tisaka Garabat.
He'll nod and he'll say, "Speak to the ether. Let it carry your words."
Which Arthur would actually understand what he said because it's he had said in Enochian great grandfather.
Okay.
Specifically, it's the proper noun great grandfather and not a great grandfather.
Oh, okay. The way is open. Your words
Yeah.
will carry. Is what Arthur would say at that point.
Yeah, and he'll say, and all this in Enochian, great grandfather. It has been a pleasure to have had you in the house and tending to the flocks.
Arthur will place hand on his shoulder and say, "So mote it be." And then he'll say in Enochian, because the way is technically open, by all the spirit's power, may these words carry to great grandfather. May the voice be heard. So mote it be. And then drops it. And just because. It's my night. Why not? There we go. High ritual. Yay! Way's open anyway. Arthur will then close his eyes and he will say, I call upon the ether to carry my words. I call upon the will of myself to bear the spirit of my voice. To those I have lost, to those I have lost in the past, to those I will lose in the future, hear my voice, hear my cry, spirits from the other side. I am sorry I cannot protect you. I am sorry I could not save you. As it is, so shall it always be. So mote it be. And once more. 2 successes. All right. So Arthur will turn back to the altar. He'll place his hands upon it, and he will light the black candle, and then he will light the white candle. He will take a flask of wine from underneath the altar, bring it up, and pour it into the 2 cups. He will raise 1 cup to his lips and say, To the living I drink of thee. Take a sip, and then he'll pass it along the line. So he'll pass it to Nick first, then he'll go to Charlie, and then he'll go to Jackson.
I go ahead and take it and take a sip and pass it on.
Right. He'll then raise the other chalice to his lips and say, To the dead I drink to thee. So mote it be. You take a sip and pass it on. So Charlie gets the cup. Basically the cup of the living. Nick gets the cup of the dead.
Mm-hmm. Just waiting on
Games to acknowledge, yeah.
yeah.
Charlie will pass it over to Connor if y'all are waiting on me for me to say it.
Yeah. Basically it's all part of the ritual.
Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
I'll take a drink of the cup of the death and go ahead and pass it on to Charles.
Okay.
He'll take
So Charlie will get the cup of the dead.
He'll take a sip out of it and pass it.
I'm guessing, Chris, that Jackson drinks from each cup in turn?
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Knowing the right words to say, would that be Wit's high ritual? Because he does have high ritual.
Yeah, it would be high ritual.
Wits or intelligence?
Technically intelligence.
Yeah. Man,
Man, Dice Gen is just hating on everyone.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
Yeah.
I would say the difficulty is enough to where Nate will work.
Yeah. Still would
Um,
have enough. Still would have a success to be like, yep, okay. No, the right thing to say.
so the right words to say when you drink from the cup of life is, "To the life I drink of thee, so mote it be."
Yeah.
And for the cup of death it would be, "To the dead I drink of thee, so mote it be."
Yeah, and he would say it when he drinks it.
Right.
Yeah, so
So Arthur will then take the cups back and set them down, and then he will take a one of the mooncakes out. It's about yay big, and he will cut it into pieces, and then he will pass one piece to each person, take a piece himself and eat it, and then set it back down on the table. Basically, the leftover wine and the bread are now offerings to the spirits, to the dead, the living, and the gods themselves. So I'm guessing everyone takes a piece.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Right. So Arthur will then say, "So technically, for the next part, we need a girl. Who would like to volunteer?"
Sure, why not?
All right. Then Charlie, I will need you to be the Holly King.
All right.
Nick, you're going to be Titania, and I will be the Oak King. And so Arthur will stand in front of Charlie, and he'll motion Nick to stand at the side.
Okay.
Uh, he'll look at Nick and he'll say, "Fair Titania, I present to you your husband, my slayer." And then he will look to Charlie and he'll say, "To you, fair Holly King, I bequeath the kingdom. Upon my death shall you reign until such time as I am reborn, and return to take back my throne and my bride." And then he will drop to one knee and lower his head. No, you. Sorry. Oh.
All right.
Okay. So let's see what you. How many successes did you get?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
I will type in chat what you're supposed to say, what Nick says, and then what Charlie says. No, come on. All right, and Arthur will then nod as from his kneeling position.
Gentle husband, go peacefully to your rest. The new king shall watch over your kingdom.
Then he'll nod to Charlie.
So mote it be, and until we meet again, so mote it be, and he he will act like he's stabbing the Oak King.
Okay. So Arthur, he'll act like he's stabbing Arthur in the back, and then Arthur will fall forward, and then he will say, "As my blood seeks out, so shall the warmth ebb from the land until my time comes again." And then he'll fall over like he's dead. And then Arthur will stand up, and he'll look very excited, and then he will turn back to the altar. To the spirits that have gathered here, to the dead that are lost, to the love that is still to come, to the life that is still to be born, I thank thee for coming. You will then walk to the yellow candle, and you will say, oh wait, sorry, blah. First thing you'll do is, Mother Luna, Mother Undine, Great Father, I thank thee for coming and bearing witness to our ritual. We will see you again at Yule. So mote it be, I send thee forth, I send thee forth. Then he'll walk over to the yellow candle. Spirit of air, I thank thee for coming. I thank thee for thy blessing upon this place. I send thee forth, I send thee forth. And then he will blow out the candle. He will actually cup his hand behind it and then blow it out, because to do otherwise is rude. He'll then motion to Jackson. And as Jackson gets down to blow out the candle, he will say, Spirit of water, I thank thee for coming. I thank thee for thy blessing, and I thank thee for thy patience. I send thee forth, I send thee forth. And then he'll motion to Jackson.
And Jackson will cup his hand behind the candle and blow.
He will then look to Charlie and he'll say, the Spirit of earth, I thank thee for thy presence. I thank thee for coming and for thy blessing. I send thee forth, I send thee forth. And then he'll motion to Charlie.
And he'll cup his hand behind the flame and spirit speech say, "Thank you, dear mother, for listening to us tonight." And spirit speech and blow it out.
Then he'll turn to Nick. To the Spirit of fire, I thank thee for coming. I thank thee for thy blessing, and I thank thee for thy presence. I send thee forth, I send thee forth. No motion to Nick.
I'll cup the candle and blow it out.
He will then, raising both his athame and his wand, move them in a circle and whip them both out from his wrists. The circle once cast, the circle now finished. So mote it be, blessed meat, blessed part, and merry meat, merry part, and merry meat again. Put the influence down on his altar. Clap his hands together. Gentlemen, I thank you very much for your presence. I thank you very much for your patience with this old Wiccan. Now, let's get drunk. And, well, the first thing that he'll actually do is he'll take the 2 cups of wine and he will set them in front of the pictures, and then he'll set the plate of the bread in front of the pictures as well. And then he'll go grab a glass of mead and down it in one shot.
Okay.
That's our turn.
Yeah.
My character will follow suit. Not excitedly, but he'll take the cup he had originally and drink it.
Arthur's just like, I can't explain how happy I am to be able to do this. I mean, I was worried that most of my rituals would fall by the wayside being here in Hong Kong. It makes me feel like home. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
So
No problem.
I hear Desdemona's having a party.
Yeah, we can crash that one.
Yeah. I better go change.
It's not at Rikers, which, yeah.
I don't think Des would appreciate me showing up in ritualistic liquor gear.
You never know. It's supposed to be Halloween.
Hey, she is a
Yeah.
changeling. You don't know what she's wearing.
For my sake, I hope clothing, but with her, you never know.
Yeah. If we go club hopping afterwards, unless we want to get laid, we might want to avoid Rikers Club.
Yeah, I heard about that, about what's going on, and probably gonna steer clear of that.
What's going on?
What about you, Nick? You want to go get laid?
I don't really care.
Rikers having an after party for Desimoda's party.
Cool. Well, I think I might avoid that just for the sake of my butthole, you know.
I'm not sure how much attention I'd want to
Dude,
be seeking.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sort of taken. Although she'd be okay with sharing, but only if she was around.
Yeah. Who are you seeing it again?
He pulls out his journal and looks at it and says, does one of these confuse numbers? The Duchess Rose?
Oh, that's right. The changeling Duchess has
Yeah.
you on a leash. And they'll just be like, well,
I wouldn't say a leash. As long as she's around in the act, she wouldn't mind if I branched out.
Alright, but that's better safe than sorry. Send you guys ahead of this. I've got to put all this stuff. I've got to get all this stuff back. I hope Jason doesn't mind I borrowed his van.
So who's this Duchess Rose?
At this point, I think he doesn't really care. It gets
Duchess
used
Rose
anyways.
is the changelings, the House of Cups. Hot though, dude's freaking lucky, like beyond lucky.
Oh, you did say the
I
house.
think he's already there.
Well, if you want to go ahead and scope it out and find out, go right ahead, man. I'm going to have a couple more of these, and I'm going to drive my stuff back to my sanctum.
Are you sure you're safe to drive?
I have to drink 5 times as much and smoke 2 blunts before I'm not okay to drive. Just saying.
Well,
You want to try my top?
What'd you say, James? I think we lost James again.
Yeah.
He'll look over at Jackson. Did you have fun?
Oh, some.
Yeah. I appreciate the offering. I could smell the salt from here. I didn't know you were from a Slavic Wiccan tradition.
Quite technically, yes. More of an appeasement to Wrinkle.
I see. Father Wrinkle. Is he still father or is he still grandfather?
Grandfather.
Okay.
I feel like
I knew a couple of members of the Cult of Ecstasy that always referred to him as Big Daddy Wrinkle.
Yes, you don't really want to get on his bad side.
It's one of the reasons why I stay away from time magic.
Well, sometimes you have to make a decision to not go. Sometimes that decision is made after the fact, or before the fact, or, well, technically both.
I know there's no straight line from cause and effect. It's more like a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Yes, but whenever you create big balls of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, Wrinkle gets a little bit upset sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes he shows up and turns somebody into a statue for a week. Happened to a Cult of Ecstasy guy I knew. Unfortunately, it happened during a rescue mission to a technocratic construct. And he got stuck in the middle of it for a week.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fortunately, he came out of it when we were coming in rescue. So, I wouldn't really call him a statue. I would say maybe he was more stuck in time, but yeah.
Whoops.
So, with Wrinkle, sometimes you just have to learn that the event you're trying to evade should be something you watch or are there for.
It's like talking to a Cult of Ecstasy guy, except you're not stoned out of your mind.
I do it in a very sane state of mind.
Oh, I just started learning entropy.
Maybe we should trade notes sometime.
What'd you say, Nick?
Maybe we should trade notes.
Yep, definitely. But Jolie convinced me that entropy wasn't all bad. That it's also has to do with fate and helping people change theirs.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
There's a
people's
death
fates are
aspect.
how much time or entropy you have.
That's true. Some fates need to be changed.
Some do.
I've actually started working on a way to convert a Nefandi back to a traditional mage avatar. I figure there has to be a better way than just destroying them.
Yeah. Any numbers kind of help right now.
Well, the problem is that just converting back the Nefandi's avatar may not sway them completely from the demonic power. They'd still have to be killed, but at least their avatar wouldn't affect the future. Something I've been thinking about for a while.
Well, I'm certainly not thinking about Fondi or the demon worshippers, but I am more focused on more of the technological sides of.
Right. How's it all going, by the way, your studies?
Good. I'm trying to develop a virus that will infect the hit marks and on the system's technocracy. I'm wanting to raise an army on my side.
Right. What if, don't they use some weird kind of technocrat-only code basis? I've heard the virtual adepts talk about before about how it's 0, 1, 2.
Maybe, but I've been really disconnected from the Sons of Ethers for a little bit of time. So I don't know.
Well, I understand that there's a member of the Premier that has a blueprint of a Myrmidian suit. I've asked to have it transferred over, but they don't seem to plan on it.
I'm sorry to catch that.
I don't know who has it. Last I heard it was Dexter.
Oh, well, if they need me to repair it, you should send them to me.
Well, no, she doesn't have the suit. She has the blueprint.
Oh. Well. That would be useful.
Yep. Sorry, typing something in the chat.
I managed to get a hold of a Myrmidon suit, so it should be easy to replicate.
Where'd you get a robot suit from?
I worked for the guys. I staged a escape, and I'm assuming none of this will get out to prying ears. But
You're you're among your own kind, man. We don't flip shit on people.
I stationed an escape for one of the Kwai Jin people, and I directed her to steal a Myrmidon suit, and I sent out a couple of hit marks. Unfortunately, I was only halfway successful.
Hmm.
I didn't get the hit mark, but I did get the suit.
Hit marks are kind of old school tech, though, aren't they? At least from what I understand.
Myrmidon suit? Or hit marks?
The hit marks. The Meridians, from what I understand, are new. Didn't always used to want their own people piloting that shit. That's why the hit marks were created in the first place.
Actually, I have started to come up with newer models, 9s and 10s, which, how do I put this, are living machines. They
So
cannot be
instead of a robot surrounded by clone flesh, you're making a living, thinking machine of your own.
sorta, yeah. It's a mix between tech and cloning.
Wasn't that the premise of Avengers 2 Age of Ultron?
I actually haven't seen one yet.
Or
Check
Borg
it out.
from Star Trek?
Borg would be more cybernetics. It would be what would happen if you started placing implants on people to the point where their systems become completely dependent upon those implants. You'd also have to link them all together with a hive mind of some kind, which, from what I understand, the technocrats are actually capable of doing if you really want to be scared on Hollywood.
And I was attempting to
Yeah, I'm not really wanting to go there right now.
Right. Sorry,
I
Nick.
just remembered the first assault on the wall, not fun.
What were you saying, Nick?
I don't know about the hive mind part, but they are connected with RightClick and a few other applications.
Hmm.
And to be able to successfully get a Myrmidon suit or a hit mark, you have to first be able to disable their auto tracker, and to a lesser extent, their connection to the central hub, for lack of better words.
Basically, they're direct relay from the technocratic conventions, right?
Sometimes
Okay.
they have access to it, I should say.
But they're not capable of operating independently. None of the hit marks I've seen have been.
They are sort of. The higher models are able to act independently, but they still have trouble blending in.
Hmm.
However, as the technology grows, so does the ability to hack them. It's actually a lot harder. I have to use, as you guys would say, matter and mind at higher teachings than normal, as well as forces to be able to affect everything.
Well, I'd help you out, but those are all three spheres I have no idea how to use.
Fortunately for you, I have all of them. I could hack a Hitmark 10 if I had the time.
Awesome. Well, if it comes down to it, we just need the people around to give you the time.
Yes, I need somebody to immobilize it and to block its senses.
Well, from what I understand, sorry. From what I understand, last time I saw anything get thrown out against anyone, I heard about the assault on the wall and that they sent HM7s out, which are really old school compared to what they have now.
Yeah, it's one of the things that they don't want to get out because they're still experimental slightly. That and there's not quite a lot of them.
Right.
While the older models are a dime a dozen,
I'm not really sure.
but practical.
What's up, Charlie?
M7s. He's confused on the designation. HM7.
You were at the assault on the wall with Adam and the guy with the stick up his ass and the other people, right?
Me?
Yes.
The things that you guys attacked, from what I understand, Charlie, those were hit mark 27s. Basically, think of it as Windows 3.1, Windows 95, Windows 90, Windows 2000. It's from and so on and so on and so on and so on.
Oh, the weird siege tank Dragoon had love children things.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun at all. That thing freaking reverted me to my human form.
Yeah,
That wasn't.
Kind of not cool being on the battlefield only wearing pants.
Well, that wasn't the hit mark. That was the vehicles. From what I've gone up against in my past, that sounds like it. Those vehicles were equipped with static reality shell generators. Basically, any mages that would have been present that didn't have a scientific paradigm would have been useless. That's why you reverted back to your normal form. That's why other people couldn't use their special stuff. You know, that sort of thing.
Technically, that is my it's part of me. Shifting forms is kind of normal thing.
Yeah. We got sent back to being normal.
Oh, nice. I recently found out that I am a Bastet kinfolk. Although I've been having trouble.
Yes, I was there when you formed the Rite of Heritage on you.
Yes, although most of the shifters kind of see me with suspicion and wariness. I'm actually seeking to reconnect with my spiritual side through being able to be asset kinfolk. Although any guru work with this reconnection.
Well, if you need any help, I mean, anything I can do to help you out with your stuff, let me know.
Well, I would love some advice and help, but I don't believe we share the same ideas and thoughts.
No, my paradigm is more free-flowing, but I could... Sometimes the Weaver spirits will actually talk to me if I'm nice and I follow the proper protocols. So if you need any help with that sort of thing, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
Other than that, I'm Disciple of Life, apprentice of Prime, and now actually Apprentice of Venture.
So, have you guys heard about any new attacks or assaults on the technocratic bases? This is something I would like to stay in the know about.
Well, the one thing I did find out recently...
Partly
Oh, go ahead, Charlie.
I was just going to say not recently, considering most we'd had to cross the wall or go into And then he'll gesture over to you and apologize for interrupting.
No, it's okay. So far, the only thing that I've heard, nothing about any attacks, but I did question a data spider. Apparently, I can manage to use the proper protocols to convince him to think I was the president of the United States. Um, all the old constructs at the National Security Building is completely being encased, and all the projects that were being held there are being sent to Deepwater. Have you been reassigned to Deepwater?
Not yet.
Where's your assignment right now? I know you were at the NSC before Adam went apeshit against my better recommendations.
I will give law location, law place.
Okay. So not any of the three main constructs, but more like a side office, right?
I don't know. I think might be one of the main offices. I have no idea, honestly.
Right. Well, if you hear anything about what's going on at Deepwater, let me know. It's kind of responsible for the death of a whole lot of Fae.
Well,
yeah, me too as well.
The more I put my fingers in things, the more suspicious I look. So
yeah, they're really cautious with initiates over there, aren't they?
I'm not an initiate.
What's your rank in there?
I am a white suit, and I actually am over different mortals. Can't think of the words.
Mortal operations.
Yeah, mortal operations, directing them to the correct ways of technocratic growth, which is very close to Sonic Ether ideas. However, I don't like the indoctrination part as much. I do have a couple of black suits I could talk to and direct.
Well, don't overstretch yourself too much, but there was something I was curious about. Since when did you guys start throwing humans into black suits and sending them out on the field?
We don't.
Yeah, you do.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, even I heard about that.
Yeah. Out of character, the issue that I got stuck with Ian's Kuei-jin Gabriel, we were told that 4 black suits that were actually human instead of VAT scans got sent out against us, and Ian's character killed all 3 of them, and then 1 got killed by Fang. But they were probably not from your office or your construct, so you may not know about it. There was an altercation with a Kuei-jin and a Nuisha involving the death of 4 non-VAT scan black suits.
That's interesting. I heard about the altercation that happened at Riker's bar. Is that the situation you're talking about?
No, this was one I witnessed while I was checking out the construct. Well, what was construct?
Okay.
I convinced the car to leave, but there was a Kuei-jin and there was a Nuisha that we had to fight back because they pulled guns on us and started shooting. And one of them was, I didn't know you guys gave black suits to Awakened. I thought those were gray suits.
Awakened mages, yes, we do give black suits to mages, the Awakened, but they usually are on the lower branches, and they have to work their way up to gray suits, like where I'm at.
Okay.
For normal humans, maybe.
Well, here's another thing that you may find interesting too. They weren't using the technocratic, what's the word? Variable ammunition firearms.
Okay.
They were using hand cannons, like 45s.
Was the ammunition silver?
No, the ammunition were silver. Fang would have told me. No, they were using
Uh,
standard.
actually, sorry, Arthur. Fang would have known that it was silver, but she wouldn't have been I don't think she'd be affected by it because they're effectively Ragabash.
Okay. Um, well, didn't we hand over one of those? Oh, Michael has one of the guns. He said that it wasn't silver, but it was a type of it was basically a type of round that shouldn't go in that. It was a specially made round. Basically, it was a cut down rifle round for a 45. Yeah. So
That's
They
none of our
went at you with sawed-offs.
no, it was a 45 that was shooting a cut down rifle round. There's actually a difference.
Yeah, that's very strange because none of our
Okay.
officers would have done that. We would have given them at least standard gear,
Right.
not cut down rifle rounds.
Yeah. I mean, it was almost like they were sending them out to be attacked.
Well, if I find the gun in if I find the gun and I can take it back and examine it and let them on a lead.
I'll talk to Michael. He had the gun last I checked, the one that we took from the technocrats. He'll be able to tell you better than I will.
Were they wearing an armband by any chance? And I'll point to mine.
Not that I recall. They were standard MIBs.
Even my spirit network that was watching would have probably seen those.
Yeah.
Did they melt?
No, they died like humans, bleeding red blood and everything.
Yeah.
Usually your standard VAT scans melt when they get killed.
Yes. Yeah, we do send normal humans out sometimes, but
Okay.
we wouldn't give them those rounds.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Usually you guys have those high-tech guns that explode when the person who's wielding them dies.
Yeah, we do have those.
Yeah.
But we don't like to field them that often. Paradox.
Yeah. I thought you guys were pretty much immune to paradox. As long as you operate within your paradigms.
Our philosophy is don't use magic that often. It's if you can do it another way, do it.
That makes sense.
That's how our operatives don't incur paradoxes because they don't actually cast in the field. Either
Well,
they
one of them was until the Nuisha made his Palm Pilot explode.
I didn't catch that.
One of them was actually that was the first thing he was doing, and then then Fang ran into him and his Palm Pilot exploded.
All right.
I've seen Technocrats cast long enough to know that when you're typing and focusing that hard on one of your Palm Pilots, usually means you're trying to cast some Woogie shit.
Well, and I'll tap the Google Glass.
He was
Sometimes,
going over the forehand.
sometimes we don't need palm pilots.
Yeah, that's true.
And not all of our shit explodes.
Some of it melts. Arthur just kind of smiles at that. Well, I say we take this party to a party.
Okay.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
we're coming down, and we need to be up, 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 up before the veil slams back up again.
Yes.
Sound good?
Yep.
Nick,
That's good.
All right, Charlie, do you want to take them to the party spot, and I'll meet you guys there?
Say again?
You want to take them to the party spot, and I'll meet you guys there?
Sure.
Where is this party spot?
Out of character, whenever Julia decides to put it up. She's, I guess, still going through RL stuff.
Ocean, if it's Julia, we don't know yet.
Yeah. But Des
That's
would have
all.
already sent out the invitations. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that she said that Des sent out invitations. So Arthur's going to start cleaning up, getting his stuff in, and putting it in the van. You guys going to head out then?
Yeah, I was going to help you pack it up and put everything in the van.
Okay. Arthur will thank you for it and
Charlie
get stuff put in there, pick up the
would
rope,
too.
make sure it's properly
And,
rolled up.
before we leave, I'm going to pass out like little cards with my name and number on it, and all the contact information, Google, everything.
Arthur will take one of the cards, write his stuff on the back, and hand it back, and then take a new one. Because he doesn't have business cards.
Meanwhile, while Arthur's, packing up the stuff, Jackson will actually, stand in front of the bonfire and will, he'll be gazing into the bonfire and basically chanting to himself. More of almost like whispering prayers in Enochian.
Okay.
Out of character, rolling for time sight, and I'm going to let the storytellers know that, basically doing time sight to see what's going down at the party before it happens.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that way, if there's going to be bad stuff going on at the party, Jackson's going to, while he's going to be with y'all, he's going to be like,
Yes.
yeah. Where Jackson will go and just be like,
FYI,
bad stuff might happen.
Person that,
What, James?
FYI, from the person that was just saying, FYI, dude, take it from somebody that's playing at Unseelie for tonight. It's a high society party that's turning really wild.
Great.
Not
Judging
necessarily
from what,
wild bad.
the small details I got from Julia.
Not necessarily wild
It's not
bad.
necessarily bad. It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily bad.
How
It's
can I
not
help?
necessarily good.
I do have mid-levels of the Mind Sphere. It's been a long time since I've said that. Mind Sphere, so I could probably contribute somehow to the party. Or at least make sure nobody does anything that they would regret.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
but
that's going to happen.
the thing is that it's not necessarily evil happening, it's more or less chaos happening. So, Nick, depending on how closely your character holds to their own, because I'm sure you're pattern essence, right?
Yes.
You may be uncomfortable there by all the chaotic things happening.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
So, Arthur will.
Although me and Arthur and maybe Jackson are going to be very comfortable.
As far as Jackson giving his prayers, Arthur will remain out of earshot so he doesn't interrupt him. Wait until he's finished before he actually thanks the fire and puts it out.
Yeah. As soon as Jackson gets through with the prayers and Arthur goes to put out the fires, Jackson will look down at his hands and play with the ring on his hand and go, "Gonna be an interesting party."
Arthur
Wild.
is like, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But hey, what's the old Chinese proverb? May you live in interesting times.
Yeah. And
Live for the moment, not for the tomorrow.
Exactly.
hey,
Exactly.
at that point, I'll walk up to Jackson and hand him a card and say, "Until meeting you again, and hopefully will remember you this time."
Arthur just kind of chuckles with that. Once everything's
Well-
put up, Arthur will get in the van and he'll drive to Asenka.
By the way, you would see me input your contact information that was on the card.
Yeah. Yeah, Arthur
Oh,
will make sure you've got his ways to contact him.
Yeah.
I think Jackson already
that's-
does have that information from the diner meeting.
As far as
All right,
Nick,
so I'm gonna
you
go ahead
got
and stop.
his number already?
I didn't catch that.
You got Charlie's number off of Riker's cell phone when you first met my changeling.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, guys.
All
Okay.
right.
Alright.
Thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Hope you had as much fun as we did tonight. And as Selwyn is closing to an end, I will say, blessed be to all. Thank you. Have a great night.